Game Blitz Sports Network by Worthy Road Studios. With over 750,000 views in 2022, we are where you need to advertise. Please subscribe to our Worthy Road Studios YouTube channel and join the other 4,000 subscribers watching local sports. The Jackson Rockabillys, Union and Bethel Universities, USJ, TCA, JCS, and Peabody. Our multi-camera broadcasts include slow motion instant replay, on-screen scoreboard and graphics, and professional announcers. Thanks to the sponsors who make it all possible. All Game Blitz Sports Network by Worthy Road Studios, the premier sports broadcast network in West Tennessee.
And live from Hub City Deli, it is the Jackson Christian Eagle Show, the show that makes The Rock say it's the most electrifying show in sports entertainment of its type for a high school. I've got the outstanding guest we always do, our head coach, Darby Palmer, and athletic director, and my co-host, and also my color man for basketball, but a great football coach and baseball coach, Brian Bullard's with us. And are we loaded with guests? You ask for more guests, you're going to get more guests. Not only do we have Coach White, who is a wonderful human being in his own right, we don't have two players for you this week. We've got three of the finest young men coming in here. Very entertaining. We got statistics. We got record-breaking. You name it, we got it. And now I'm going to be like Ed McMahon and say, and here's Brian.
Thanks, Coach. Coach Palmer, thanks for being with us tonight and coming off a solid win there, traveling to Harding Academy. Let's talk a little bit about that game and kind of the challenges that they posed for us in our defense early and what we saw. So what much improved, the score doesn't necessarily reflect it, but a much improved Harding Academy team, in our opinion, I believe, athletes on the field. And what did they do early that kind of gave us a little bit of trouble?
Absolutely. I think their athletes showed up. They were ready to play just like any game on a Friday night. Offensively, they got into a few sets that they haven't shown, getting into the empty. That's how they got their first touchdown, spreading us out and throwing a post across the middle. Defensively, I feel like they did a good job rallying to the football. Their ends did a great job, really getting wide and containing a few things that we were trying to do early to them. So overall, they tested us, and our guys did a good job of trying not to look ahead all week and battling through that and practicing, and I feel like they responded well.
Yeah, so, defense was kind of on its heels early. We adjusted to what they were trying to do through the air. Austin Kelly, 15 of 23 for 218, 5 touchdowns. That's his fifth straight game with 5 touchdowns. Jalen Mosley, 9 catches, 164. And 4 touchdowns. Talk about offensively what we were able to accomplish and kind of expose a little bit, take advantage of.
Yeah, so anytime that you get a quarterback that's reading the field and reading the defense like Austin is right now, you can do a lot in your passing game. And Austin, he was a little off early on with a few different looks that they were doing in the secondary. Did a great job coming back to just the basics of what we teach day in and day out and in our indie work. And we were able to open up the field with a couple of our concepts that I feel like out of some new formations that they weren't ready for, and we were able to get our playmakers open.
And, Jalen had a little bit of difficulty. They were staying with him, kind of jumping with him a little bit early. Stayed with it and able to put up some good numbers. We had a lot of contributions the other night. Once again, defensively held Harding Academy to 12 yards rushing, kind of continued that, which we'll talk in a minute about how that's going to have to be stout again this week. But one thing I want to talk about that got me excited was late in the game, we start subbing, and the excitement from our young guys getting into the game, and not only getting into the game, but making an impact on the game. I think of a Davis Wellington being kind of in on the sack there, Ben Patrick, 2 or 3 tackles, Hudson Little with an interception and a pass breakup, and Aiden Bird, not a young guy, but a guy that doesn't get a whole lot of reps there early with 5 or 6 pass breakups and defense there. Talk about those young guys, and as a coach, they put in so much time, effort, and to get our guys better and to help with the scout team stuff. What does that mean for them and our success moving forward?
I think any time that you want to check out a team's culture, you look at the sideline. Not only when times are good, but when times are bad, you look at the sideline to see who's locked in. And when you can sub in guys that haven't gotten a lot of reps on Friday nights, but, man, day in and day out in practice, those guys are getting us better. They're getting that first group and that second group better. And it was awesome to be able to get those guys reps, but to see the joy on our first team guys' faces, our older guys, and cheering those guys on and getting excited for them. That's awesome to see, and that's the culture that we have.
So closing that game, moving forward to this week, and Coach Joe, you can jump in with some thoughts that you have here in just a minute. But we talked a little bit about this today, and we talked about what's on the line, implications, all those things. How do you get our team to slow down, to stay in the moment and understand it's another football game, but it's a big football game, and we also want to embrace that, an opportunity for our team to play for a region championship?
Well, first of all, games like this, the last week of the regular season, I mean, that's what high school football is all about. When you're playing for a region championship, a chance to go 10-0, which we have never mentioned that in our practices or huddles or team meetings, anything. But to soak in the moment, to own the opportunity. In your prayers and pregame, you always talk about opportunities. Well, this is a great opportunity that we have. Our guys have done a great job all year being a mature football team, going out there and executing. Trinity's a great opponent for us, a cross-town opponent, and they got great athletes where they're going to spread you out to run the ball and take shots. And defensively, they rally to the football. And so they're going to be ready. I feel like our guys are going to be ready and prepared for the moment. Man, just what a fun atmosphere it's going to be on a Thursday night in Jackson, Tennessee. I feel like probably half the town of Jackson is going to be there.
No doubt. Coach?
And the rest of it will be on Worthy Road Studios and the Jackson Christian Facebook. And even my good friend Seabass is headed out that way. Let's wrap up the game and come into this one. At the Harding game, great adjustments, and the kids followed them through. They had one series, and that was all they had. And Coach Kendall, I've known him. He played over at Lexington when I was coaching football. And he said that he thought they could do a little more, but he said, I saw him briefly after the game. He said, your guys made the adjustments. He said the coaches were good. He said it was a heck of a football game, and we did do well. Darby, like I said, talk about adjustments just a little bit.
Yeah, and we didn't want to show too much, so you balance that of not really wanting to show things offensively and defensively and tipping our hands to anything. But Harding Academy, they came out with a great game plan. But anytime, and we're sitting here kind of talking about our defense, but anytime that you can hold an opponent to 12 yards rushing total on the night, that's a good thing, and make them one-dimensional in what they do.
Now, let's transition into this one because you hit exactly – you must have read my mind or something. Okay, key phrases. 111th, we took it over and owned it except for one series. Well, that's wonderful. If you only have trouble with the 111th, and we played hard in that one. Okay, we have to own the 111th. We have to play smart, which we do. We have to play hard. And we have to have fun doing it, though, right?
Absolutely. And we talk about our guys all the time about football is a simple game. If you can block, tackle, and take care of the football, odds are you're going to be on the right side of things. Just doing our job better than they do theirs and coming out and being fired up, ready to play.
That's right. And if we play smart and hard, the penalties and things like that, every once in a while both teams are going to jump off sides, et cetera, like that. But the team that's focused and does all those things, and like you said, I love that 111th, and that is what's going to happen. They've got some stars, we got some stars, but you know what? This isn't a star game. They got to play team ball. We have to play team football.
Yes, sir. And you got to come out and you got to stack plays. Everything you got for this play, and then wash it and do it again, do it again, do it again. So the biggest thing is just stacking those plays, stacking your best play possible over and over and over again. Not trying to focus on anything outside, but focus on the brotherhood and what we have going on.
Absolutely. Thursday night, two of the best football teams in this area will be there.
I want to ask him one thing, and sorry to cut you off, Coach.
No, I was going to come back to you for another question.
I want to know, I know for us, we've been together for a while, and, we've been a part of some big games. Just talk about what this opportunity means for this program and for the coaches and the players that have come before these guys.
Yeah, you hit on that. We've been together for 7 years now, and so every year we feel like we've built it and built it and built it, and to see it the past couple years to where people are really buying in, the community, but our players from top to bottom are locked in. That's great to see. We're excited for the opportunity of what this program is doing right now. We're ready to see what our guys can do on Thursday night.
Absolutely. And we're going to be there, but we want you there. Support it. You can always watch the replays on Worthy Road Studios and on Jackson Christian's Facebook. But one of the finest sets of young men, whether I coached them or not, and for me broadcasting, it may be the finest set, and we've had some dandies at Jackson Christian. Every time this young man across from me goes out and his team wins a game for him, which they win for him and the school, it sets a record. Austin Kelly, every time he throws the football for a touchdown pass, it's a new single-season record. But you know what? These young men do not care about the record. Their goal is to get there, and that's enough said. We're going to take a time out, and when we come back, we're going to have another one of the great coaches, a man that wears two hats. We'll tell you why he wears two hats. But you are on the Eagle Show right now. You got a chance to call 5 friends and tell them to either listen or come down to Hub City Deli, meet some great guys, and wonderful interviews. We'll be back after this timeout.
This is Lee Johnson.
And this is Jason Lockridge from Southern Capital Advisors.
We're thankful for the Jackson Christian family and are honored to help lay a foundation that will build our community for years to come.
Welcome to Southern Capital Field, and go Eagles.
And we are back at Hub City Deli here on the Jackson Christian Eagle Show. It's getting more electrifying. We got a great crowd in here tonight of parents, students. We've got a bunch of our football players, a big week. And with big weeks, you bring in big people. A man that wears two hats. We're going to talk more about the high school part of it, but what a way he ended his middle school season. Man, they were just knocking the stuffing out of everybody, and we ended on a great winning note with a series of victories. Here's Coach Bullard to talk to Coach Wyatt.
Coach Wyatt, thank you for being with us tonight. And we're going to talk a little middle school, but we're gonna save that for here in a couple weeks. Maybe try to get a player on and a couple of coaches to close that down. But a guy that brings so much value to our program, works with our middle school, is our head coach there, and then does double duty on Friday nights. And then once middle school's over, he's a full-time varsity assistant and works with our defensive backs and does a tremendous job. Is up in the booth for us on Friday nights and works on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive headset. Josh, talk a little bit about your middle school and how y'all did end this season.
Well, it's, again, Coach Joe, it's a pleasure to be on here with you. Coach Bull as well. Middle school was, it was an exciting season. Like you said, it was one of those seasons where we got to see a lot of growth throughout the year, and it literally was a week by week. It starts with a great coaching staff with Coach Ray and Coach Lumley, who do an excellent job. Coach Lumley working with the linemen, offensive, defensive linemen. Coach Ray kind of play caller for us on offense. And then our numbers being kind of small this year with middle school football made it challenging as far as practice went. And so we really had to use our games from week to week to learn. And I guess that was the most enjoyable thing, was being able to see our guys learn from week to week and be able to show them through film and through tape, kind of teach them on Mondays from the game Thursday night. And I think we started 1-3 and finished 4-3. And, man, it was an exciting way to finish the season and watch those boys grow. That's
absolutely what I was wanting you to do. I appreciate you bringing that. And like I said, we're gonna highlight those guys on their own time here in a couple of weeks. But have you, as a coach, you were at Brighton before, been a couple places. Have you ever coached in a region championship game?
I have, actually. We had a couple of region championship games at Brighton. Had some really good seasons there. I started in 2017, and then 2015. 2017 is when we made our deep run in the playoffs to the semifinals, got beat by Beach And I think that was even a season that we might have gotten second place in the region. So, but it was always a tough battle, usually between us and Munford. They were in our region. We had a lot of the Memphis schools in our region as well, in 5A football. But it was exciting, but I have to say I don't remember it ever really coming down to the last game of the season, and that's what really I think it draws a lot of attention to us, this year and this week, is that, when they're doing predictions for brackets and playoffs, they've got JCS/TCA, because it really does come down to this game as far as who gets the 1 seed and who gets the 2 seed.
So what do we have to do? As let's talk from your perspective, as a secondary. What are some key things, and we're not giving away anything, just some key things that we're trying to get across to them, as we know we're dealing with some playmakers on the other side of the ball.
Absolutely. One of the things I think that we really pride ourselves in the secondary is being good tacklers, and that's something that we've had. I remember from having, Walker Ray and Campbell Scott as corners and coaching them at corner, who had never played corner before. But that was one thing that we really got from those guys, was just the ability to tackle, and 2 of the leading tacklers on the team at corner. I don't know if that's good or bad for your stats.
Well,
but
Jack's got 30. I was doing some research,
absolutely.
And he has 30. So
yeah, and Jack and Trent now on the corners, they're very physical. And that's what we like, and I think that's what we have to continue to do, is to be physical, to put pressure on guys, and to come up and attack the run, keep contained. That's what we're looking for from our corners. As
a dad, because you do wear 2 hats in this as well. You're a DB's coach, you're a receivers coach, you're a middle school coach, but you're also a dad. What are the emotions like for you at your house, and for Kai, and kind of going through this week, and what it could mean down the road, and all of those things?
Man, it's a roller coaster of emotions at times. There's so much excitement at times. It's really hard to be up in the booth and be able to see everything and be able to separate, the dad from the coach. Sometimes I just get so excited when my corners make a play, and then I see my son make a play, and it's so exciting. The biggest thing for me is one thing that I love doing, and it's kind of a ritual that Kai and I have, before every game. As they're walking out, as the team is walking out, I'm gonna give him a hug, tell him I love him. After the game, we're the first ones that are hugging each other, saying I love you, and it's just really special to be able to share these moments, especially with the success. But even without the success, just the fact that we get to share this time, because I know, and I know as a high school athlete, that was a highlight of our lives at that time. I know life is going to change, and there will be other highlights. But right now, this is the most exciting thing happening for him, and I'm glad to be able to share that with him.
I got one more, Coach, that I'm going to throw it to you. Talk about, and I want you to talk about your son. Talk about his growth from last year to this year, and what has led to his success along with our defense.
Yeah, that's one thing about Kai is being a coach's son. He's been around the game for a long time. He's been in locker rooms for a long time. I remember when he was, I think he was maybe 6 or 7 years old, in our summer workouts. I remember him waking me up at 5:30 in the morning to get ready to come up, because he was ready to come up. So, he loves this game. And so having the opportunity as a sophomore to be able to start, which his freshman year, that was his goal. He wanted to get the reps in. He wanted to put time in, get the work in, and get better, so that he could have a starting role to be able to help the defense. And so as a sophomore, he did that, played through some injuries, but really, really learned so much as far as the reads and just getting a feel for space and getting a feel for the movement of the ball and leverage and those type of things. And then from last year to this year, I think he really put the work in the offseason as far as strength goes. And he's not going to get bullied inside. I think as a sophomore, that was one thing that he decided. Those linemen, when those tackles come and those guards come and they get their hands on you, he was not going to allow that to be so easily done. So he really put 30, 35 pounds on over the offseason to put himself in a position to be stronger. And now, looking forward, it's all about quickness. Keeping that strength and getting a little stronger, but also working on the foot speed. So,
Coach.
Absolutely. I've got two questions, and got those from you, Coach you two did a great job, man. I couldn't have written the script for that any better. Number one, Kai and Big Cedric Anderson work so well together. One's the nose man, and he takes some blocks and handles some people, and he and Kai play off each other so well. You got any thoughts about that?
They do. Yeah, I do. I mean, that's one thing that, Kai, with us kind of changing our defensive look, going into this season, that was one thing that he was encouraged about, the way that Coach Phillips, kind of taught two of them is, he's got an all-region, nose tackle in front of him who is, I mean, whether he's elected to it or not, this kid's an all-region nose tackle.
Yes.
He is, he makes plays, he fills gaps, and you don't run to him. And that's been, a great thing I know for Kai, and knowing that filling off of Cedric. It's, whatever Cedric misses, whatever they do to go around Cedric, Kai's going to pick it up. And it's our entire defensive line, too. And that's one thing with Kai. 1 week, talking to him, he'll have 10 or 12 tackles, and the next, I'll tell him, well, next week, guess what? And he's like, I know they're going to block me. I was like, yeah, but who are they not going to block? They got to pick somebody. You got to pick somebody not to block.
And that leaves somebody unblocked, too.
Absolutely. So that's been a great thing for them, being able to work together through that.
And that's 2/11ths of the team. We talk about Darby's 1/11 theory. Coach, we got about 30 seconds for you to say anything to all of those fans of Jackson Christian out there.
I tell you what, man, it's been an exciting year. Love the support. Love the positivity. That's the big thing. I love the fact that we're encouraging, that we're lifting these boys up, because it's not about football. It's about helping to raise these young men to be fathers and husbands and leaders in their own right, and that's what we want. We want to glorify God in all of this, and I'm just thankful for that opportunity.
I'm going to say amen to that. I guarantee this is why we all love this man, and what a great guy. Flo has made her pick, but we're going to keep it secret. And folks, if you want to know how games are going to go, you need to check with Flo.
Come to lunch on Fridays.
Yeah,
come to lunch.
Absolutely. We have got to take a time out. We're at Hub City Deli. It's the Jackson Christian Eagle Show, and the electricity is here. Where are you right now? You want to be here, and we've got a lot of people. We'll call some names here in a few moments, but we're going to take another 30-second time out and have our first special guest, number 88. You know who it is. I'm not going to call his name until we get him on here. Let's take that time out, Gary.
Buy a car in your bikini. Buy a truck in your jammies. Buy an SUV in your, well, no matter what you're wearing or not. Shop JonesChevroletHumboldt.com with the area's largest used car inventory.
Downtown is thriving, and the Blacksmith Restaurant is leading the pack. From the rustic dining room to the unmatched patio, eating local with family is what we're about. Live local, eat local, relax local.
And speaking of energy, it just stepped in here. We can put the electric plugs into him instead of our charger over there. My man who plays outfield, and I know we're talking football, one of the greatest outfielders. He is all over the place. You want a base stolen, put this man in here. Now, he'll give it back to you after he scores, but he is good at everything he does, and I have thought the world of him. I'm not sure I can let him graduate, though, this year. But Coach Bullard's going to start the interview. Jack Collins, number 88 on the field, number 1 in your heart.
Senior Jack Collins here with us tonight. Jack, offensively, was looking at your numbers today, 12 catches, 204 yards, 2 touchdowns, and defensively 30 total tackles. And you play one of our guys that really goes both ways. We have some guys that kind of mix in there here and there, but you, Trent, playing both sides of the ball nonstop. Talk about this year for you, your senior year, what your expectations were going into it, and kind of how we've lived up to those expectations so far.
Yes, so I've always had big expectations for my senior year just because, I've had such a great group of guys to play football with. So, my expectations going into the year was to, of course, win state with these guys and, be together with them for as long as I could and enjoy the moment. Because, I knew that I was going to put in work. I knew that all my guys were going to put in work because we're all pretty focused on the main goal right now. And I'm just so, thrilled to be with this group. And my goal is to be a good athlete and to help my team do good. And last game I was able to put Daniel in a great position to score a touchdown and put us above. And, that's all I wanted to do. So, if I can't score, at least somebody else scores. So, as long as we get the job done and I'm able to help my team and just push us towards that end goal, I mean, I'm meeting my expectations. I'm doing my job.
So this is my 10th year, seen 10 different senior classes, and all have been great and had their strengths and different things. But I don't know that I've seen a more collectively a more focused senior class from the fact of we win a game and we're ready to move on to the next one. So I remember early in the year we won a big game against a crosstown rival in a game we hadn't won in a couple of years. And Daniel said something after that game to the team about, yes, it's awesome. Yes, it's a great win for us, but it's just a win, and we can't let this satisfy us. Talk about what was that message like for you, and was that something y'all were talking about collectively as Daniel stepped up and told the team that?
Yeah, so it's always been like a major thing for us because like I remember like my freshman year like watching a great group of athletes get in their heads and screw up royally, and like there's some flaws and stuff that they had going on with that team. They're still a great team all around, and I mean I can't knock them. They did a great job and they were full of athletes, but when we lost that game, I remember us like my senior class, we got together and it was me and a couple others. We're like, hey, when we get to this level, like we're not gonna do that. Like we're gonna stay locked in, because we know what we're capable of doing. We know what we've done in the past. Like, we were undefeated in middle school. So, I mean, we're going to stay focused. We're going to push ourselves. And whenever we get in a situation where we're doing good, we're not going to let one win get in our head. And we're going to keep our head focused on that main goal. So that way we can play in December.
The same thing for a loss, right? You know, sometimes you learn more from that. And so far this year, we've been fortunate. You know, sitting at 9-0, led by a really good group of seniors. And we'll talk to another one here shortly. But I want y'all to know and you to know how proud I am of y'all. But we still have a lot left to accomplish. And so, you know, big one on Thursday. But what do you have to do? You know, football is an emotional game. It's a lot of intensity, but it's also you got to be able to calm down, breathe, and make the plays, make the catches, whatever that looks like, make the reads. What are you guys talking about in the locker room to kind of stay focused on it just being another football game?
I mean, really, it's just, like, attitude towards each other. Like, on the field, like, one of the main things is the fact that, like, sometimes we get a little mad at each other and, like, you try to point your fingers, like, you didn't do your job, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. But instead of doing that, we try to keep our head focused and be like, hey, man, you messed up this time. Next time, let's do this better. So, I mean, really, it's just, like, us not really bringing each other down because of our mistakes, but rather trying to pull each other together to achieve that and not mess up any farther, because like the worst thing we could do right now is to get in each other's heads and to pull each other apart,
right,
and break the team apart, because if we mess up that chemistry and that bond between each other, then that's really what's going to meet our demise.
That's right.
Y'all have been the best, and I love talking to Jack, and I've already drifted back in some of those catches you made in baseball, but it's football season. Well, he's just that outstanding in any sport. One of the best young cornerbacks. He will hit you. He's a little bit like a vampire. He doesn't literally bite you in the neck. Figuratively, he bites people in the neck figuratively on the tackles and stuff. How do y'all do so great at last game forgetting and moving on to the next game? The old last game, next game theory.
It's just like, so what? Now what? You know, like what Coach P says, like, that was great, but let's just do better next time. So, like, when we beat USJ and we beat Good Pasture, like, those were really good teams that we played and we beat. But, like, our main thing was, you know, these guys were good, but there's always going to be somebody better. Like, there's going to be somebody better. Like, we got to keep preparing ourselves, because if we stop and we get satisfied with what we did now, then in the future we're just going to think we're good enough and get to a situation where we're challenged and we're not going to meet that challenge or that expectation, and royally we're just going to mess us up.
That is great, Jack. Great answer. Now let's do some fun things quick. First of all, how long you been at Jackson Christian?
14 years.
That's what I had to do when not at Jackson Christian, but when I was in school. Your favorite sports memory overall, because I know what your favorite sports moment is at Jackson Christian. I'll let you tell folks about that. But what's your favorite overall?
Favorite overall is probably scoring my first touchdown in a high school game.
Yeah.
That was a big moment for me and my dad.
You like pick sixes too, don't you?
Yeah, that was good too. That was one of my favorite memories.
Okay, now on the sheet that I asked y'all earlier in the season, and this is actually broadcast stuff, but you like crab legs, and steak, right?
Yes, sir.
I mean, I bet that's what you order when you can. What do you like at school? What's the best food at school?
Well, like at school, I don't really eat at school that much because I have senior lunches. But when I do
that's
eat,
right. You lucky dog.
yes, sir. But when I do eat, it's Angie's Crispitos. It's like chicken and cheese stuff and like wrapped up. It's really good. It's my favorite. Like I'll skip senior lunch, go eat there.
I feel like this young man's my child. Like Crispitos, I knew that's what, and they are good, aren't they?
They're really good.
Now, you have a favorite Bible verse, and I think you live it every day. I'll say that for him, but what is your favorite Bible verse?
Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength.
And he believes it, and he practices it too.
Yes, sir. I even got a little bracelet on it right here.
He does. I was about to ask you about that. You play other sports besides baseball. I've already there's a thief of me talking about your baseball. No.
I ran one track meet my sophomore year, and that was about it. Mainly it's just I stick to baseball, football, and weightlifting on the side.
Okay, and you have two great hobbies that kind of gives you some relaxation. What are they?
Hunting and fishing.
Hunting and fishing. Now, a fun fact about you, I want you to tell folks. I know what Blake's is. I'm not going to tell off on here. What's your fun fact about you?
Football is my first favorite sport, without a doubt.
Absolutely. About 30 seconds to say something to the wonderful fans of Jackson Christian.
Just thank everybody for coming out and supporting us. I mean, it means a lot to me and all the other guys to hear like a stadium full of people, and it just helps us give us that extra drive sometimes.
Absolutely. Great people. It's a great school. We got a great team. We'll be at TCA Thursday night. The kickoff's at 7 o'clock, and we are going to look forward to that. Let me just mention a couple of people, and some of your fans have Larry Craig, Andrea Fagan, Mike Badger, and Bill Hamilton. Larry Craig again, and we've had some others at Cedric Houston. Hello, Cedric. Susan Holloway and Brandy Goff, and 6 other people are watching you. There's people watching here. Kevin Allen, Gary Lockhart, Bill Hoy, and Fran Griffin Baker. We're going to take a timeout, and when we come back, we've got a very, very special guest, and I guarantee you he'll come running in here as hard as he can run, and I think he's got 4.5, 4.6 speed, something like that. Let's take that timeout at Hub City Deli.
No matter where you are, you can shop 24/7 at Humboldt Dodge Chrysler Jeep.com with the area's largest used car inventory.
Cooler weather this fall and a colder winter makes a spa even more enjoyable. Aloha Custom Pool's massive showroom features a huge selection of spas from the biggest names in the business. Come see us on Carriage House Drive in Jackson today.
Boy, we're back, and it gets better and better and better. You heard the electric Jack Collins. Now we got the man with the new ride and all that good stuff. I have to tease him a little bit. He is no longer little brother, though. He is the man of the family now because, brother, I'm going to go ahead and mention him. He's playing at Murray State and having a blast up there. Our guest is number 8. We've had 88. Who can be number 1 in your heart. We've got number 8 that's number 1 in your heart. Then we've got another guest, and we always let Coach Bullard go first because he's got some great technical questions, and Blake and I get to have some fun. And I thought I was with a movie star, though, here for a minute, but Coach Bullard, it's yours.
Blake, thank you for being with us tonight. Just the numbers before we get started. 2 catches, 29 yards, and a touchdown. And defensively, which is where you spend most of your time, 29 total tackles. Doing a great job for us there at safety and transition into a kind of a new role for you. Talk about our defense and being part of that and putting up some pretty good numbers every week from the defense perspective.
Yes, sir. I mean, I think our defense has been really good this year, and just our line and our linebackers have really stepped up this year, and they've been making amazing plays. And the DBs have been doing a great job too, and it takes a lot of focus to be on the defense and practice and stay locked in. But I think we've done a great job of it this year.
Yeah, I would agree with that, and the numbers say that as well. And we know we have a tough task Thursday. You got really good receivers, a good running back, a lot of good skill guys that we're facing, and kind of a different style of offense than we've seen. And we're not going to get too technical about it, but this week, how do you feel like that our preparation has been and our focus has been. Short week. How do you feel like that we're getting prepared for Thursday?
Yeah, I think our focus has been really good this week, and if we just stay locked in and focus on us, like Coach B says, I think we can do really good things this week, and just focus on the little things too, and just do us.
So last year in this game, let's rewind a little bit. They scored late, and it kind of felt like we were kind of stunned, but they left us time. And you're pretty close to a guy that caught a very important touchdown. Talk about that and what that moment was like for Lance, but also just your family in general and what that meant for you all that night.
I mean, I was stunned when that happened, and I was so proud of Lance because, like, just how much he's put in work, and it just amazed me, like, after that play. And, yeah.
Huge for him and huge for our team and our playoff run and all of those things. But you've put in a ton of work too, and your body. Talk about your body. Talk about strength conditioning. What you've done to be able to kind of come down and be an enforcer in the run game, and also be able to cover some there, which we know we'll have to do on Thursday. What's been the key for you changing your body this year?
I think just having a meal plan. Coach Earth's been great, especially during the summer, just helping us out with our like what we eat and stuff. And I was trying to put on some good weight this summer and stay fast. And Coach Earth really helped out with that. And yeah.
Coach?
Absolutely. This is a young man, I'll tell you a little bit. He'll probably be too modest to talk about it. But each year I've watched him grow. He's gotten better and better at focus, having patience, and understanding the overall scheme of things. And he's applied those skills to playing safety, and whether we're playing 2 high, 1 high, whatever we play. And he's learned that all good things come with time and patience. Did I tell the truth, Blake?
Yes, sir, you did.
He has. Now let's you and I have a little fun. First of all, he wears number 8, which if they put your pad down a little lower, because it looks like Easton 0 sometimes, and I'm teasing him about that. He's class of 25. How long have you been at Jackson Christian?
I've been since 5th grade, so around 5.5 years.
He's right on. And I've got the advantage. I have the facts and figures. Blake is doing everything he's answered purely with no notes, no nothing. And your favorite sports memory that you have overall at Jackson Christian?
I think it would have to be probably beating USJ this year.
Yeah. You had one other, too, that I know. But, folks, he's right. He also liked that walk-off home run last year against USJ. No, that's both of them. I knew that the football game, because it's been a little bit of time coming, but everybody that night owned their 111th, like Coach Darby talks about. And then, of course, your favorite football moment. Coach has already covered that, but anything else you want to say about winning that game last year at TCA with Lance making that great catch?
I mean, I don't know. I think I was just speechless after that game.
And when he hits you, he's kind of like, I talk about linebackers being unlicensed chiropractors. Well, he could fall into that category too and do some things like that. What's your favorite class in school?
I'd have to say probably social studies. I just find it interesting.
Favorite teacher? And it can be one of the coaches too.
I think Coach Phillips has been my favorite teacher.
It really is. Now, your favorite food, both I know your away food because your mom, who is a great human being, I saw her play when she was a point guard at Wayne County.
Yes, sir.
And but seafood's your favorite away from school. What's your favorite school food?
I'd have to say probably the chicken sandwiches. I really like those.
Those are always good school. Favorite Bible verse, and it's a good one for you too.
John 3:16.
Yes, it is a very good one. What other sports do you play? I've kind of exposed, but you do more than the one that we both know about.
Baseball, yes, sir.
Yeah, you do more than that, though, don't you?
A
little track?
Yes, sir. I run track some, and that's about it.
Now, I hear you're a heck of a basketball player, too.
Who's been lying about that? You're a good basketball player?
Yes, he is. And
he
and Lance and them play church league
go.
basketball. Well, I don't know. Coach Teichman might want him. He could use somebody as aggressive as that. And the hobbies you have, you got 3 good ones. I wished I had more time for all 3 of them. What are your 3 hobbies?
I like to golf a lot, fish and just hang out. I like to hang out at the river a lot.
And I didn't know you hunted too.
Yes, sir.
You pretty. And I'm told that who's better, you, your dad, or Lance?
I'd probably have to say me because I've probably been doing it the most.
And he's telling the truth, folks. I will back him 200%. When do I get to ride in your vehicle? And it's sharp, folks.
Anytime.
Okay. Blake is a good friend of mine too, and I've watched him all the way. We one fun fact, and I've used it on a broadcast, but not everybody heard it because it happened right in the middle of a play when I said that. What's that fun fact about you? The reason I made that movie star. Matter of fact, weren't you in a movie a couple of weeks ago that were here in town?
I don't know.
Oh, I thought I saw you. The guy had blonde hair and all that stuff like that.
Barbie movie.
Yeah. He says he looks like Ken. You want to know the truth? I thought it was Ken when he came in. Well, you shouldn't put that down if you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I told you I have the advantage. Now, I can talk like this because I dearly, truly love this young man. And if his mother ever gets rid of him, he can come live with Susan and I. Miss Susan even came down here to see you tonight.
Yes, sir.
Your turn. 30 seconds. Say anything you want to people.
I just want to thank our crowd, friends, family coming out. That's such a huge impact on the way we play, and I just want to thank those people. That's about it.
Absolutely. We're going to have fun, play smart, and play hard Thursday
yes,
night,
sir.
Right? Great job. You met two of the finest young men you'll ever want to meet, and we've got another one coming up. I've also known him since the time he was about as long as my arm. You're on the Jackson Christian Eagle Show. We're going to take a time out, and when we come back, the foot will be here. Let's take that time out.
The best thing to order is when you are sitting at soccer practice, order it through your phone while you're sitting there, and then you go and pick it up.
But you're much more of a planner than me.
I am.
And that's what I love about you.
Yes.
I'm not that prepared. It's more seat of my pants.
Downtown is thriving, and the Blacksmith Restaurant is leading the pack. From the rustic dining room to the unmatched patio, eating local with family is what we're about. Live local, eat local, relax local.
Two great ones and the third great one. They used to have a guy that played football called Lou the Toe. Well, this is Zach will put it in the rack behind the goal line. And if he can hit the end zone with kickoffs, one of the finest kickers in the state of Tennessee, Zach Cisco, is here, wears 14. And we'll talk to him about not only place kicking. This young man is a pretty good soccer player too. But here's Coach Bullard with Zach Cisco.
Yes, sir. Zach, thanks for being with us tonight. And special team stats, 22 touchbacks on the season. 10 punts and averaging 27.2 yards. Don't get a lot of opportunity to punt the ball with our offense, but you do get plenty of time to kick, and hopefully that continues for this Thursday. Zach, talk about last year when we visited, we talked about how you were close to getting that ball in the end zone, and you worked at it and you worked at it and you went to camps and all of those things. What's been the difference from your junior season to your senior year, able to kick that ball sometimes 5, 6, 7 yards deep in the end zone?
I would say mainly the mental factor. I feel like I grew a lot in that one off season, just mentally, and then Coach Irvin workouts got a lot stronger, and then I went to my kicking coach James Wilhoit, and I learned a lot more of the techniques and just got a lot more focused and figured a lot more things out, I would say.
And it's a big time weapon, and there's some teams that that we have to keep from returning, and so sometimes you'll see us kind of using strategy and kicking away and all those things, which is difficult in itself. And so what's kind of the change when your mindset is kicking it deep versus, okay, they've got a couple good returners back there. What do I have to do to make sure I execute that part of my job?
Well, I always just stay focused on where the ball's going and just try to do my job. And it's a lot different than kicking it deep because I just kind of just rip it and let it go. But got to stay a lot more focused on where I'm getting it and keep it away from them.
So you've gone to camps and you go to Coach Will Hoyt and you do a lot of traveling. What's been your favorite experience as on this kicking journey and maybe do it at the next level, maybe not, just whatever you choose to do. What's been your favorite part of that?
I would say just meeting all the other kickers. It's like a small community, and we're all friends. I know a lot of kickers at many other schools. And then one of my favorite things is called Saturday Night Lights, where it's about 50 kickers all in Tennessee we get together and then we go out there, kick and compete, and then we have a ton of college people, Tennessee's kicker, Alabama kicker, they all come out and help us and train us too, and it's really fun.
That sounds awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even know you were a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
Zach, it's your main job. Your job is special teams. Your job is to kick, punt, do all those things.
Mm-hmm.
What has it been like to be on the sideline? You were there with your brother and saw some really good success, and this team so far 9-0. What's it been like watching that and being part of that?
Well, it's fun. I kind of enjoy just being on the sidelines because you get to see everything that's happening. And for me, sometimes it is kind of hard to stay focused on the kicking aspect when I'm seeing everything else going on. But I just really have enjoyed all 4 years just being on, getting to watch my brother play and being on the same team as him. That was really enjoyable. And then I just enjoy watching everything, I guess.
So my favorite memory of Zach, and then we'll let Coach Joe ask some questions, but I believe it was Tipton 2 years ago.
I think it was Fayette Academy.
Was it Fayette Academy?
Yes,
I get those schools messed up. But Fayette Academy 2 years ago, we come out of halftime, and we don't have the kicking tee. And instead of letting somebody else do it, I've never seen a kicker run, or maybe anybody run, as fast as Zach did, back to the locker room, back to the field, and kick, and almost pass out. But that's one of my favorite Zach Cisco memories. And it's just a guy that's dedicated to his craft, puts in hours upon hours, and his parents take him all over the place traveling and trying to get better to help his team. Coach Joe?
Absolutely, and as one of our fans sent in here, Audrey Campbell, a Zach attack, and that's what happens. And when he attacks football, what was it, 7 or 8 in the end zone in the previous game before Harding Academy?
I'm not sure. I think it was 7 or 8. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, it was either 7 or 8, and that's a weapon for us. And I've got to ask you this. Can you kick it left-footed if you had to?
No, sir. We actually tried that the other day in practice. I can't do it.
Okay. Well, he's talented, and he is a former soccer player, and he may go back out and play again. I don't know. And you've played soccer, and you're very good at it. Are you thinking about playing again this spring?
Still up for decision. I'm not sure yet.
Up for decision.
Yes,
and that's
sir.
hard because, folks, I'll tell you, when you are a kicker, what one philosophy about kicking or some nugget that Coach Will Hoyt gave you that you think about before every game or during the game or something? Is there something that he gave you?
It's mainly just focusing on your craft, I guess. Just the same techniques. I do the same techniques every time, just focusing on that.
Absolutely.
That's really all it is.
Now, I've got one more football question because I think sometimes people don't understand place kicking. There are 3 things that have to happen. Has to be a good snap, a good hold, and then you have to keep your head down and follow through. If one of the first 2, and it all's got to happen, correct me on the timing, but I know as you get older, it's 1.3 seconds is the max.
Yes,
and
sir.
it's pretty close in high school. You might get 1.39, but that's about all you get. You want to talk about those 3 aspects?
Yes, sir. I've been blessed for all the 3 years having Kelly. You know, as when he was he was a freshman, he just wanted to get on the field, and he started holding for me. He found out he was really good at it, and he's done it for the past 3 years. And I've been blessed. Some of the holds he gets down on, as I'm kicking it, I'm like, I don't even know how he got that down in time. And he's a great holder. And then Hudson, too, he also just kind of committed to it, and he works a lot on it. He's been going to camps, too, for snapping. And I've just been blessed to have 2 people who care about it as much as I do.
Favorite moments at Jackson Christian football?
I would probably just say I just enjoy before every Thursday all the parents come out and cook for us, and I just enjoy being with all my boys.
Absolutely.
Cooking out.
And Jalen sent something, said they're proud of all my young Kings, go Eagles. And what about the first field goal? Was that – I mean, all field goals you make extra points are a charge, but that first one had to be an extra charge.
Yes,
it really was. What about your favorite class?
I'd probably say math.
Math. Who's your math teacher?
Coach Teichman.
Oh, Coach Teichman. I bet he is a dandy. I bet he's a pretty good disciplinarian,
Yes,
too.
sir, he is.
He really is. And your favorite food at home and at school?
I'd probably just say pizza in general. Yes, sir.
Okay. Pizza in general. Well, Mama's a pretty good cook now.
Yes.
And school pizza's always good. Favorite Bible verse?
John 3:16.
Absolutely. And this young man lives it, too, and believes it. What other sports do you play besides soccer? Anything?
No, sir.
And could you beat your dad at another sport? Can you beat him playing basketball?
I think I could, honestly.
Now, he's one of my boys. He and your Uncle Jeff and, of course, your Aunt Lou Ann, they made a coach out of me. They were good players. I wished I could have coached you, but you got some great guys. Coach Hobby, and you got a good one I love.
Fishing.
Yeah, absolutely. Here is the fact, and when I told this, one of the broadcasters at another school heard me say your fun fact, and they didn't believe it. I told them it's true. Tell them what your fun fact is.
I'm a pilot.
He sure is. He can fly, and he can solo too, folks. We're not talking about flying with somebody and stuff. And I would trust him just like I trust to ride in Blake's vehicle with him. And some people have told me maybe I shouldn't. But
yeah, I don't know about that, Coach.
Yeah. Anyway, we're about to run out of time for this segment, but it's your turn. You're a senior. Anything you want to say to all of those wonderful Jackson Christian fans?
Yes, sir. I just want to say thank you to all the fans for coming out. It really means a lot to me and my teammates seeing all the stands full, and it gives us the extra drive to win and go Eagles.
Absolutely. And Fran Baker says, hey, Zach. So you'll know about that. We've got one last segment. Coach Bull and I are going to wrap it up, and we are excited about Thursday night. We want you to be excited about Jackson Christian football, and basketball's not far away. Let's take that last time out. We'll be back after this.
We realize you have a busy lifestyle, and at the Bank of Jackson, we're here to help you fulfill all of your financial needs, personal and business loans, mortgages, online banking and bill pay, and so much more. Serving the Jackson area for 25 years. The Bank of Jackson, your down-home community bank. You belong here. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
And we are back on the final segment of the Jackson Christian Eagles show. And what a night we've had. You've heard from three great coaches tonight, three great players, and some wonderful comments. Coach, I think we've gotten more tonight on the broadcast than we had. And we get a lot every night, but some quick thoughts, and then you and I need to say a little bit more about this game. But the game talks for itself this week.
Yeah, and before we get into that, I just want to say how proud I am of those three guys that talked tonight. They're upperclassmen. They're guys that have been around, but they did a tremendous job representing our school and our program. And one of the main reasons we do this is to get them exposure of talking in front of people, talking on a show like this and those kind of things. And all our guys do a great job. I'm very proud of them. But, yeah, I wanted to ask Coach Palmer that question because a lot of times as coaches, we like to give coach speak. We like to not be too up, too down, too confident or whatever that looks like. But, at the end of the day, this program from where it was when I started and Coach Palmer's first couple of years as a head coach, and it's not us, it's just the process and having the guys that have bought into it with the chance to play for a region championship is special. I want to make sure we don't get too high and don't get too emotional about it. But at the same time, you want to embrace it. You want to talk about it. It's one of your goals, and we've been there, or we're there now. And now what are we going to do to hopefully bring that home?
Absolutely. And one of the things that I learned in martial arts was balance and focus. And I really think you just saw the good balance. You and I both have watched these young men grow. We're very proud of them. It's not just the three tonight, but the others that have come through here. The focus, and you're right, Coach told you a lot. Coach Darby did. And this isn't just junk we say and Coach speak about 111. That is honesty. And we've got to keep the game for Thursday night in balance and focus, and we will do that. It's a great game. Coach, you want to say anything about that game? Because, like I said, other than any comments you got, the game speaks for itself.
Yeah, and just looking at the all-time, we're fortunate to be, 18-9 in this game and winners of the last two. And last year they did a tremendous job of scheming us up and took advantage of some things defensively that they found there in the middle of the field, using the RPO. Anytime you got a back like Tompkins with skill guys, they're gonna go play action. They're gonna pound the ball and all those things. But it's about which team can get hit and get back up.
Absolutely.
And that's what you have to do. There's going to be a crowd. Coach Palmer mentioned a Thursday night. You're probably going to have other schools there. It's going to be a tremendous atmosphere high school football. But the main thing is it's another opportunity. And so we're blessed to be here. We're blessed with guys like these three tonight that have put in work. They've taken some beatings. They've been on the other end of some games, but they never wavered. They never stopped. And as a whole, the work that these guys put in, starting in the spring, rolling into the summer, to now, it's amazing to watch. And it's not an accident. We have talent. We have guys that can play, but we also have some guys that their will to win and their will to compete is what makes them extremely valuable.
The word will is so important. Coach Teichman is watching, and that shows you how it is. And we got basketball coming up November 14th, and hopefully we'll still be playing then. The reason I say hopefully, there's the coach coming out in me. Very cautious about what I say sometimes. And, of course, Luke Collins says, great job, Coach Bull and Coach Joe. Thanks for what you guys do. No, thank y'all for being part of the family at Jackson Christian and supporting us. Now, we've got this game, but last year TCA and Jackson Christian provided two of the most exciting moments in sports around here for any school. First of all was Lance's catch there at the end of the ball game. The second one, and if you haven't heard it, go back and hear Coach Bull's call of Jalen Mosley's, about 65-foot shot
Probably
that won the ball
maybe
game
70, yes, sir.
At TCA. What a great place. We've got basketball going on. Our golf team has been good. There's academics, and that's also important because these are student athletes. In college, they're athlete students. You need to reverse it, or they're NIL. These kids are not here on NIL. They're here. They study. They take tests. They do the real things, and it's just a great school. Coach Bull, we've got about a minute. If you've got something you want to add to that.
Yeah, I would love to, and what these guys have said about the support, I would love for this to be the best student section, the best crowd, the best environment that we have played in all season. On third down, be loud when we're on defense, and just bring energy for these guys. And as a school, as a program, as a community, we're proud to be where we are, and we're proud of these guys and all the coaches and the staff, our training staff, and just the program that we're a part of and that we represent. And I hope that there's some former players there Thursday and able to come see, and hopefully that we'll be ready to play and put on a good show.
Absolutely. Gary Lockhart has produced and directed. We missed him last week. Paul stepped in for him. Paul is our executive producer and director. This is a copyright broadcast, and any further use of it other than watching it on Jackson Christian's Facebook page or archived on Worthy Road Studios YouTube page is strictly prohibited. In other words, any rebroadcast, retransmission, or further use of this contest without the express written consent of Worthy Road Studios is prohibited. For all the great coaches, the great guests, for all you fans, and for my good friend Gary over there, thanks for your time this time till Thursday night on the Jackson Christian Eagles Show.
The Ball Game Blitz Sports Network by Worthy Road Studios. With over 750,000 views in 2022, we are where you need to advertise. Please subscribe to our Worthy Road Studios YouTube channel and join the other 4,000 subscribers watching local sports.
The Jackson Rockabillys, Union and Bethel Universities, USJ, TCA, JCS, and Peabody.
Our multi-camera broadcasts include slow motion instant replay, on-screen scoreboard and graphics, and professional announcers.
Thanks to the sponsors who make it all possible. Ball Game Blitz Sports Network by Worthy Road Studios, the premier sports broadcast network in West Tennessee.